Coming up next, I'm giving y'all this prison story about the time a correctional officer gave up his cheeks in prison and later on regretted it. Stay tuned to the Jersey Street Corner Prison Talk Show.
It's JS Corner from the prison story massacres. I be telling stories about the pushers and the traffickers, trying to keep the YNs away from the bandits. Don't eat the honey.
Man, that must be some mistake, Doc. I don't got no STD, Doc. Nah, man, you must got it mixed up. You lying, man. I ain't got no HIV, man. Man, I ain't got it. What up, what up, what up? We are back. Who am I? Jersey Street Corner, and this is the Prison Talk Show, people. So let's get into it. Now, real quick, I want to give a big shout out to everybody that's been blessing the Cash App. Whether it's $1, $5, $10, $20, I appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. And as usual, it is always posted for anybody who feels like doing so. With that being said, y'all, let's take a minute to talk about double lives. Do y'all know what double lives are? Because there's a lot of people, probably a lot of people listening to this video that live double lives themselves. Now, that could be the street hustler who hangs out in the street all night long and acts like he's so gangster. But in reality, he just putting himself through it. He stay up and burn the candle till 1 in the morning, knowing that he got to go to sleep and get at least 3 hours sleep so he could be at work, at a certain time in the morning and put his 40 hours in for the week. But don't nobody know he worked because he worked far away. Then you got the married people that do things like have whole girlfriends or other wives in other states and cities and whatnot. And they're taking care of both households and doing this on the low and paying cash for that and taking secret visits. And bottom line, y'all, the more lies that you pile up and pile on, it just adds up and up and up and up. So when you live a double life, it gets hard to maintain both or one. That's just like undercover police work. Some of them act like they're not married for months. They go into another city, another state, and do a sting operation. And they don't see their wife for maybe months, a year. While they got a whole girlfriend on the side as their cover. And they end up falling for that cover and things start to happen. Now they got two secret lives. You got a wife with children at home, but you got another one on the side. So that's something that's very, very common. I guess we could all agree on that. And hey, no shade to anybody that does it. Because if you can handle that, hey, more power to you. But now, when having a double life starts to interfere with your job or your main situation, now you got a problem. And that's where it brings us to this story, people. Today, we're going to be talking about a correctional officer named Officer Carter. And Officer Carter was leading a very dangerous double life, y'all. Not only was he putting his life and his job at risk and jeopardy, but he also had a wife at home that he was putting at risk as well. So, kick back, y'all. Roll your spliffs, do what you're gonna do, and get ready for this banger. And as usual, y'all, hype the video, like, share, and subscribe. Here we go. Now, people, like I always tell y'all, CPOD houses some of the most dangerous, diabolical inmates you will ever come across in your lifetime. From the grapists to the unalivers. And it's not only them that are over there. They also use CPOD for PC, protective custody. And I know y'all like, that's wild. How they keep them over there with them? Because nowhere else in the prison will they let them stay. Now, you talking about feathers of the same bird. they all have one thing in common. More than likely, if you're on CPOD, you probably graped somebody before. Now, this is where Officer Carter is stationed at every night on CPOD. So normally the officers on that pod don't get too friendly with the inmates. They try not to make too much contact with them because A, it's just not safe. And B, they like to play a lot of mind games. So they normally stay to themselves, stay in the booth unless there's something going down that they need to get on the tier and see what's up. Now, Officer Carter, he had a habit of going on CPOD. As sources would tell me, y'all, and like I said, these protective custody guys are rats in the first place. They telling any and everything that they see. That's why they over there, because they snitching. So words would fly through the prison right out of their mouths all day, every day. They be on the gate and hey, you heard about this and that, this and that? That's why they over there if they snitching asses. Anyway, so the word was that Officer Carter was showing a lot of respect and a lot of, let's say, he was being very friendly to a certain inmate. Inmate named Big Nail. Yeah, you heard me. Like nail in the wall. Big Nail. Notorious bandit, y'all. This guy was scary. Tattoos all over his face. Big scar all down his face. This dude looked wild. Crazy work. And he'll do something to you. And he ain't asking. Now, when people start noticing that Officer Carter was stopping by his cell a lot and bringing packages to him, people started to pay a little bit more attention. Like, hey, what they got going on, man? What's going on over there? What he giving them? He would be bringing them outside food. They said he had a phone in there. All types of stuff, y'all. He was bringing trees in there, risking his job. For what? Nobody could understand it. Because now, what we're going to get into is something that has more than likely never been done before that time and probably replicated many times after. When you start to see inmates get special privileges from correctional officers, 9 times out of 10, there is a relationship brewing in the air. But the weird thing is, people, normally it's with a female correctional officer. Not this time. Officer Carter was seduced, and he was the officer that turned into the victim. Yeah. Now, if y'all not following me, y'all, Officer Carter was on the down low. Yeah. Let me tell you a little bit about this man. This guy was married. He had kids. I think 2 of them at least. This guy had been working at the prison for over 20 years. He had everything to lose, people. But on the down low, low down and dirty, Officer Carter was a bottom. Yeah. And the only and the best way to get his sick, demented pleasures off were his job. He knew he would have no shortage of men in that prison that would partake in his activities. Now, what I'm describing to y'all right now is so indecent, it's not even funny, especially for a correctional officer. Now, you see what that thumbnail says. It's tops up, bottoms down in prison. So you being a bottom, you down. Your pants down to your knees and your ankles. Your keys, your phone, your radio, all of that down there on the floor in them pants. And you getting busted down by Big Nail. Now, Big Nail was about 220 pounds. And it's said that he's known to dominate. Like, he don't play no games. I heard a rumor this guy will grape you if you even call him gay. Because according to him, he's the giver. He ain't gay. He's a top. So you say the wrong thing to Big Nail, he gonna knock you out and he gonna show you who's gay. And that's just what it was. Over there at C-Pod, shenanigans like that went down and it was allowed. It was like everyday life over there, I guess. You had to watch what you say and who you say it to. Especially if you wasn't, one of them. Now, I don't know how the heck anybody ever survived on C-Pod. Because that would have been, somebody would have had to get them pokers. Something would have happened. Ain't no way in hell you gonna have me around all these crazy dudes. But I guess that's what happened to snitches, right? Anyway, back to the story, y'all. Don't get me sidetracked. I get sidetracked real easy, y'all. I heard he was in the cell one night going so hard, pause, on Officer Carter. He was in there screaming and yelling. All you hear is all these smack sounds. Who are you? Who are you? I'm Nail's bitch. I'm Big Nail's bitch. Now, Officer Carter was the only officer on duty. So there was no other officers to hear him screaming and yelling or calling or nothing like that. But the crazy thing was, Officer Carter came back every night for that same abuse, which told me from hearing this story that obviously Officer Carter liked the abuse and this was his hidden agenda. He wanted to work in the prison. He wanted to work in C-Pod. He wanted to get taken down. Like Chris Brown said, Nail took him down. Big Nail nailed Officer Carter every night in that prison. And he loved it. Now, I know y'all like, well, so what? Yeah, well, so what until it ain't so what. Now, this is where the story takes I guess you could say a funny turn. Officer Carter, like I told y'all before, is married. And he gets a call one night on shift. He's in the guard room and he's up there, looking at the computers and stuff. And his phone rings. It's his wife. And she says, hey, you need to come home. You need to come home right now. We need to talk. And he's like, I can't just leave shift. I'm in the middle of shift. It's 2:00 in the morning. She like, listen, I've been holding this back. I've been wanting to talk to you for a few days, but I went to the doctor yesterday and got confirmation of what I thought was going on. And I'm sick and you need to come home and we need to talk. And he like, what? You sick? What you mean you sick? Like you got a cold or something? What you mean? Listen, just come home, fool. We need to talk. And now, Officer Carter, he's scared. He like, all right, man, all right, let me see if I can get some coverage. Let me see. So, he can't get no coverage. So he calls her back, lets her know, listen, I can't tonight. I can't leave. I can't get nobody to cover me. I'll get fired. She like, when you come home, I'll be up waiting. Officer Carter all stressed out now. He can't help himself. So what does he do? He gets up out of his seat and he takes his ass right on down to Big Nail's cell. Now, mind you, Big Nail, he don't know nothing about the little conversation he just had with his wife or nothing like that. Shit. All Nail know is Nail. And if this officer is coming down and opening his door, that means he wants to get nailed. And he locked the door tight behind him, got down and assumed the position, and said, man, I need you to go hard, man. I need you to go hard on me, man. I'm stressed out, man. I just need the release, man. And Nail don't do too much talking. Rumor is all he said was say no more. And from that time to the next 30 minutes, all you heard was screams and hollering coming out of that cell. The cell next door said it sounded like he was having so much fun in there, it was crazy. Unthinkable words and things were said. Nail really nailed him that day. And he nailed him so bad to the point that officer had to go to the doctor. He asked for that abuse, y'all. So he couldn't snitch. He couldn't rat Nail out. Nail just gave him what he asked for. But when he went to the doctor, y'all, he had a realization that aside from those stitches that he was in need of, the doctors ran his blood. And they found out that he had contracted an STD. But not just any STD, y'all. One you can't get rid of. A lifelong threat. HIV. Oh, you got the wrong person. You got the wrong person. Officer Carter, he bugging. He going through it. Nah, I'm not gay, man. Nah, that ain't mine. You must have mixed my test up, man. Nah, man, go find my test, man. That's not mine. Now he got to explain all of this to his wife. His wife in the waiting room, waiting for him to get his behind stitched up. She needed an explanation for that first. Then she needs an explanation for where he got this from and how he got this. She out there with his 2 kids in the waiting room, and this man has been fulfilling his own devilish needs at his job in the prison. So, I guess in the end, there was no other explanation that he could give except it's tops up, bottoms down in prison. And he had to come to accept the fact that he was a bottom. His wife married a bottom. And he had been infecting her for the last maybe 7 months. 7 months ago, Officer Carter decided he was going to start turning tricks in the prison. Getting roughed up by the roughest bandits he could find in the prison. Because he thought to himself he deserved that punishment for being such a deviant. And well, y'all, he got more than just punishment. He learned a lifelong lesson. Sometimes having those demonic thoughts floating around in your head, well, sometimes you're better off just dismissing them. Because now you're stuck with something that's never going away. And oh, the day it decides to escalate and move on to full-blown you know what, it's over. You just signed yourself a life of agony. They got plenty of medicine that could keep you alive, suffering for a long, long time. Say goodbye to your appetite. You are going to lose weight faster than Ozempic will make you. And now this is not exactly a funny subject, but if you're going to live that kind of alternative life, don't get other people mixed up in it. Your wife, she had no choice but to get sick right along with you. You ruined her life as well. Now those children will grow up with or without a mother and father. That's up in the air, how long you guys will be around to see your children grow. And that's your fault, Officer Carter. That's your fault. Big Nail ain't give a damn. Big Nail probably knew he was walking around with a package. But all Big Nail wanted to do was get his off. Big Nail had a life sentence. He was never going home. So for him, this was just an early release date. Listen, y'all. I need y'all to get in the comment box and tell me exactly what y'all thought about this story. What do you think? What do you think about it? Because I think it's diabolical. The fact that my man was married and brought something home to his wife. I don't know if it's the fact that he brought something home from a male and not a female, if that's what I can't get over. But either way, it's straight up diabolical, people. So watch people around you. Watch the weirdos in your surroundings. Because they're doing the most, people. And somebody need to bring it to the light before it gets too far. Listen, that's going to be it for this story. Like, share, subscribe, hype the video. And of course, as always, you know the vibes. This is the Jersey Street Corner Prison Talk Show. I am your boy, Jersey Street Corner, and I'm out.
It's JS Corner from the prison story massacres. I be telling stories about the pushers and the traffickers, trying to keep the YNs away from the bandits. Don't eat the honey bun, don't drink the coke, don't become another victim or the butt of a joke. Don't close both eyes when you sleep or get choked. When you go to the mess hall, sit with your team, cause if you sit with some punk boy, you can get seen, then you can get dealt with. Prison justice like you never felt it. I be taking y'all back to stories of the helpless. That lava I spit, get your boys' stories melted. I spit about prison justice cause I dealt it. And you a real hater if you can't respect it. All that bullshit, yeah, I'm here to check that. Any confrontation, I'ma show up. Bet that. You a real hater, I'm here to address that. When it comes to stories